Warning, 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 warning.
This is a Emergency Broadcast. Code Red, hold on, Code Red, here we are. Pick up your iPads, your cell phones, and have me and listen to Uncle the Podcast. Watch out. If you're sitting down for this, or if you're standing up, you better get ready for this, because it's gonna hit the eardrums. Uncle the Podcast.
You are listening to Uncle the Broadcast. My name is Aaron. I'm the nephew-in-law. Here with me is the star of the show, Uncle.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. 135 episode. I have some great news for you all, people.
Oh, boy.
We have a fellow that's a broadcaster that he said he's trying to give a call at this hour. My hour.
Oh, yeah? He wants to call?
He'll want to call, so give out this number right now.
Number. Okay. Our live call-in number is 319-527-5016. So please, call in tonight.
Call number, and you have the number if you are listening. Mm-hmm. Call in. The phones could be open any minute.
Oh, they are open right now.
They're opening right now.
And
so
anybody who wants to call in via phone is 319-527-5016. And you can choose to come in on Skype if you prefer. Just get a hold of Chuck. His username is charles.ocelli on Skype. So last hour I had Marlon Edinger, friend of the show, come on via Skype. So this hour it could be you.
Yeah.
Charles.ocelli. Or call in 319-527-5016. Uncle, we do a live show every Friday.
I know that.
Except for the last two Fridays.
The last two.
What happened to us?
Well, I didn't. It was my birthday. I didn't.
Last week,
and the other one. So what was happened to the other one?
Oh, okay. So last week happened to be your birthday.
That I know.
Which kind of surprised me. I didn't realize it was going to fall on Friday, but it did. It's me being bad at calendars. But the previous Friday was us. We went to go see J.P. Sears.
Oh, J.P. Sears.
Tell people about that experience.
Oh, J.P. Sears. We went to see this live J.P. Sears. This guy, it was good. I mean, we finally got out on the road to talk to some of these people. So we
live comedy show.
Comedy show, and he's working on a comedy show. In fact, we even got him. He might call in if he wanted to.
I sent him an email. I did,
and he knew us right away.
He recognized us.
He recognized him actually, Marlon.
He recognized
the car sidekick over here. He recognized him real fast. When he started doing the act.
Yeah. I listeners, longtime listeners to to Transresistor Radio rather, will know that I interviewed JP back in 2015, and that was a fun interview, and that was back. That was in the earlier days of him coming up through YouTube with his Ultra Spiritual Life series of comedy videos that have now, they've continued to succeed for him, and now he's on the road as a live stand-up comedian doing his act that he started on YouTube now to live audience.
Sounds pretty good. I'm going to say. It's been my second experience being out on the road.
Yeah, so, seeing a live show like that.
Live show, so I sort of enjoyed it that way. So
it was interesting. We saw JP at the Brea Improv in Brea, obviously in Orange County there, Brea, California. And we had previously seen Tom Green
in that same area.
Well, we saw him at the Irvine Improv.
Irvine, that's right.
Also Orange County, also the Improv. The Improv has been building these new buildings, like they're new, because the one Brea, there was an old one. They replaced it with this new building, and it's exactly the same layout as the Improv we saw at Tom Green at.
Well, yeah, it was almost exactly the same.
It's identical.
Oh, yeah, it was identical.
Nearly. The front entrance was probably a little different, but other than that,
we were sitting in the same seats. We were right on top of the stage. I mean,
Yeah, it was
how
the
can
same
he miss
seats.
us? We're sitting right there
We were not front and center, but we were front and to the right, right?
to the right of it, but at
We were
least
like, I was touching the stage. I was slapping it because you sit right up there.
yeah, you're doing like this.
Yeah.
Well, we had a few drinks, but
We
Whether
had a
we
couple
had-
drinks. We
it
did.
didn't matter. We was going out for a night like that.
Well, it was a 2-item minimum per person, so we had to get something.
Yeah, no, and they hound you for a drink or something to have.
It was either that or mozzarella sticks. I mean, pick your
stick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
pick your poison, Uncle.
so
Do you like mozzarella sticks or do you like beers?
I like. Actually, we were looking at draft beers, but at the time. But then he said, "No, we go for the six."
We did the bucket of Coronas, which happened to be
Coronas,
6 bottles.
The
yes.
6 bottles, ones that I like. That so we did that.
We were able to finish the bucket.
Yeah, I had 3, and you had 3, so we had to even it out. So we had the 6 was already gone by 3 and 3.
Yeah.
So
Easy come, easy go.
Easy come, easy go. Exactly. Hey, guys, you got a caller, 951 area code. You want me to bring him in?
Oh,
That is.
yes. We want you to bring this caller in, Chuck.
bring it in, Chuck. That's what the
Alrighty.
phones are on.
There they are.
All right, caller. What is
Caller,
your
what?
name?
Oh.
Where are you calling from? Great to have you on.
My name is Sef the Poet, and I'm calling from Riverside, California.
Oh, Uncle, we are in for a treat tonight. We have.
Who's this guy?
This is Sef the Poet.
Oh, is this the guy I was talking about the gas thing?
No, this is another man.
I'm looking for that guy. I'm looking for that gas, the electric man.
Well, yeah, we'll have him soon. But this, Uncle,
Who is this guy?
this is a man who is a poet. He's a poet, and he does know it. But he also happens to work with me, so I know him through work.
Oh, you're the working man. That's
So,
right.
Seth, why don't you give us in your own words? Who is Seth the Poet? Who are you?
Sef the Poet?
Sef the Poet. He is a missionary. He is a evangelist, and he is a prophetic poet. And that all sums up Sef the Poet. He shares freedom with the world and pretty much hope, give people hope through poetry, and that's what Sef the Poet does. That's who Sef the Poet is.
That's right. That's right. Now, why don't you just, at the top of this, Seth, why don't you give out your Instagram or anything like that real quick?
My Instagram is at Sef the Poet, SEFTHEPOET.
Yeah. Uncle Seth is a religion man.
Religion, man.
That's right. He sure is.
What religion? Let's first get into this part.
Christianity. Christianity. God is good. Jesus Christ is the King.
What say you to that, Uncle?
That was
What was
interesting.
that?
I've had talking. There was some people on the train thing that's talking to me too, so different religion myself. But I haven't told anybody around here, other than by people that want to listen on the broadcast. This is what I first started, was guys asking questions. But I back and forth with him. And
Well, it's always fun talking about religion on the show, Uncle. And whenever it comes up, it's a good time.
It's honestly like it's more of a relationship, you know. Don't try to look at it from a religious standpoint. I look at it more as a relationship, you know, and getting to know who you are through the relationship, you know, with your father. You know, that's pretty much
true,
how
though.
I, view it.
Oh, that's true. But you're on the right foot, on the right stairwell. I mean, that's the way it go. But I mean, sidekick over here.
Yeah.
I can't go any further.
My feet are on the wrong way.
Yeah,
We'll
that's
fix
an
that.
example. That problem.
We'll fix
his
that,
feet's
Uncle.
on the wrong way. You listen to him, and you might be back in church.
Okay. Seth,
So,
you got something for me to listen to?
yeah, give him something to listen to.
You're,
This guy.
you're telling me the other day that you got something really good. I want to hear this. Is it too much to ask that you lay this on us right now? This gem of
It's not like I believe like at any time like I could be given, something to share with someone that, I just hope that it either encourages them, or just helps them know who they truly are, because I believe like a lot of people could spend a lifetime getting to know who they are, and by the time it's over and done with, you're already looking back on things that you didn't get a chance to know about yourself, So,
that is a very good
I didn't want to get too deep with it, but I can share if that's all right.
Yeah, that's sure. But that there is a very good start for him. Very good start.
Indeed.
I think you're going in the right direction. Let me put it that way. I know that because when I listen to a guy talk, they go that direction, and I can see where it's going. But you better listen to your friend here.
It's like turning the correct way onto a one-way street.
Yeah. If you can call it that way.
You don't want to go the other way. That's dangerous. That's dangerous.
See, I can honestly look at it like this. See, I spent a lot of my life walking down one-way streets going straight to a dead end. Until that dead end showed me who my best friend was. And every day I have to seek him out so I know what my best friend does. Because when I was lost and alone on an island like a castaway, he showed me that I'm no longer broken, I'm whole. He threw the castaway. He showed me those days when I was cold and I was locked in a box, that he was the key to the box that I was in. He was my breath. He was my oxygen. He showed me who I was by who he is. Inside of me, I know that he lives. Every day I'm able to open my eyes because he gives me life. He is my light. Christ. See? It comes out like that,
Mm-hmm.
That was just free-flowing, wasn't it?
Yes.
Look at that uncle. He just made that up off the top of his head.
No, it's something that he asked him to say, top of his head.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not what he said.
Oh.
That was deep. That was heavy. That was heavy right there.
No, that's what he said to tell him.
Yes. See, now
I
he's getting it.
I know.
Now,
He's got to
now,
learn it. So you got to learn it. I know what he's saying. You got to learn it.
Well, I know, yeah.
I mean, this is what he's trying to you laughing at. Yeah.
Seth now
no,
understands.
because you're speaking some good truth. Like, it's heavy. It's heavy on me. That's why I'm laughing, because it's emotional. Because it's like you're really touching on some real good points right now, and it's speaking to me.
Yeah. Seth sees how it works now. He knows that you're here, Uncle, to make me understand what actually, because I didn't understand what just happened.
You didn't understand.
Well, I thought that Seth just made something up, but in reality,
It was not made up.
It was not him, and he was channeling something greater.
Yeah.
That's what was going on.
He's learning slowly here, though. I gotta
that's
say,
some weight. So that's
Pace
like
of
3
learning,
tons right there.
we need some people like you to give him a study class on this talk show. I mean, this is what we need to get him a little straight line here, this fellow.
I know.
I mean, and you might push her to go with.
Oh yeah,
that's the other thing.
There's a whole lot pushing in all different directions.
I mean, if one what are you laughing about? But if one let me tell you something, Seth. If one goes, the other one will follow.
There we go.
I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get him to start realizing it, to give him a helping hand like you're doing.
Indeed.
And then they'll push her.
Seth, were you out? Were you doing public speaking tonight?
Yeah.
Doing some poetry out there today?
I was just at the Path of Life in Riverside, and I was sharing a poem with the residents or temporary residents, I would say, who was there, just giving them hope.
Oh.
And, bringing light into the place that could seem so dark, letting them know that they have a home in Jesus Christ. Yeah, I just shared some poetry there and actually prayed over a couple people who wanted to give their life to Jesus. So it was good. It was a joy,
Nice.
That book, Hope, is the last book that's the one I'm sort of having to understand more myself. I was listening to, of course, but I had to understand it more. The hope, but I found out it is hope, and that's what it is. The last book.
The last one.
The last one.
Hmm.
Right there, Seth.
Last book, Seth.
Yeah. The last book you were talking about.
It's
the last book.
Yeah.
The last book, Hope. The last one on
that's
the shelf. The last one you'll ever
And in
need.
fact, they said that in the.
That's that one that
they said
that you have to reach for.
They said at church there this past week.
It was referenced.
The reference about.
Okay, there we go. There
So,
we go. Yeah.
that is just-
Uncle, I'm this is exciting. I mean, Seth has been hoping to call in for a while, and it's lined up that he's been able to now. I knew that you two would have a rapport. Glad to see that that's the case.
He's bouncing balls.
And
I actually was talking and driving, which I shouldn't have been doing.
Uh-oh.
oh no,
But I had to log in. And people can't see like I have tinted windows, so I still
You
got
have been
things
listening to mine, though, haven't you?
have you had the opportunity
have.
to listen?
To listen to us.
I haven't.
Oh, you haven't.
That's okay. That's
Oh,
okay.
That's okay. You're lived in now.
This-
But
this
I
is
was open. I was open to call. I was open to call today, and I'm gonna, tune in so I can listen. So I can, start spending more time. I actually shared with a couple other guys. Like Adrian's supposed to be logging in and dialing in tonight as well.
Oh, really?
She is?
Really,
Yes,
Adrian?
yes,
Adrian,
I just sent.
really? Uncle, Seth is like a proactive team member of the Uncle Street team here.
Oh, wait. Now keep them coming. I don't want to just keep them coming.
I
Hey,
got
look,
people everywhere. Like I'd rather
Yeah.
the more
Coming.
the more people can connect, like the better the world would be. I would say, because united we can do a lot more than we can divided. So that's just how I view life. Like
Yeah.
I try my best to help others,
Yeah.
put others before me. I would say,
Yeah.
because a lot of my life I spent putting myself before everyone. So I believe that now I can help others. Move
Yeah.
forward in life, and that last book they can grab.
Yeah, that last. It's a very good, interesting book, but I'm still having more of a little difficulty listening to it than that last one. But I've got all the others down for. But this last one that's really tough.
Well, it's all part of the fun is you're trying to figure things out. You're learning new stuff.
That's right. Exactly.
Wouldn't be good if it was easy.
No.
Would be the point of it.
Exactly.
No point here. Yeah, I'll just say that big advocate for Seth. He's a great guy to work with. He's awesome. He's a genuine good person, and so it's great to have you on the line, Seth. Thanks for calling in tonight. It's awesome.
No problem. It's a honor to be on Uncle Podcast. That's how I feel. Because I've never joined a podcast. I never dialed into a podcast. This is my first time.
Uncle,
So,
that's amazing. Look,
That's a shocker. No,
Yeah.
not amazing. That's a shocker because we got to get the first timers, and he's a first timer. See,
we go.
we had Matt. Remember,
Jeffrey Matt.
was the first time, and now this guy.
Yeah,
If I can get this other fella, I'll be good.
we're out there inspiring people too.
I mean, we're pushing,
Yes.
pushing the thing. The only thing that we do not have yet.
What's you guys? What's
No.
you guys' story?
What's our story, Uncle?
What's our story?
Uncle, give Seth the Uncle the podcast, Uncle and Aaron's story. What's our story?
Us talking crazy to people.
Yeah,
Mainly because all we do constantly talk, sometimes to ourselves. We don't-
usually.
usually, if we don't get anybody on land,
Yeah.
on the property, on the broadcast,
Yeah.
but we're back and forth.
And Uncle, you and I live in the same household, don't we?
Well, we live here in the same house.
Yeah,
We
Wow,
have
that's amazing.
two women that some
we do have
one
two
and
women.
they argue once in a while.
One of
and-
those women is Uncle's sister,
And
who
one of them,
happens to be my mother-in-law.
Law.
The other woman is my wife,
It's his wife. That
which is your niece.
Yeah.
And thus, you
Yeah.
are my uncle-in-law.
that's the uncle-in-law. I'm getting, I get confused with uncles and cousins and all this
It's
stuff.
very easy to get
I get
confused.
confused of knowing who I for these people.
But to keep it simple, just everybody calls you uncle.
Yeah, that's right. Everybody, what's the point?
Yeah.
Just say uncle to me and become winning.
Keep it simple.
But it's just that you have to understand me.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only point.
Yeah.
You got to understand my kind of operation talking that I talk on this.
Well, that's what the podcast is all about, is understanding.
And to listen to people like you know, and trying to have. I have a listen.
You have a lot of wisdom, Uncle. You have a lot of wisdom.
Yeah, because I will listen. If any guest online like yourself comes on the air, I'll hear more to the guest than I would talk much of.
Yeah, we love guests and callers.
Because the guests will get me to listen more.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mainly want to do.
Yeah, we like to sit back and listen to what they have to say.
Yeah, right. And that's what I like.
That's all it's about, is listening.
Right. So, and we haven't gotten to the sword place yet.
Yes.
I'm
Sef,
still talking to him about a sword.
Sef, because you're a local, you should speak to this.
Yeah.
You know, what's the mall? I don't even know the name of the mall. The mall there on Magnolia, what's that called, Sef?
The Tyler Mall, the Galleria.
Tyler Galleria. And, do you know the store in the Tyler Galleria that's the sword shop, the sword store on the top floor?
Hey, before you get to the sword shop, hang on just a second, Aaron. I want to start a little trouble here because you were supposed to get the cards done before you went to the sword shop. And I've been mailing those out.
That's question I was going to hit him with.
Yeah, because I've been mailing those out to your listeners who send me their address, by the way. If you send over at info@ocelli.com, I can send you some of my business cards, but Aaron hasn't gotten them done yet. So, you know.
So at this moment, you're going to get down and talk to Get On Steve. Because I was talking to Steve and told him just let him have what he has to put on him.
Yeah.
And he'll do it. Get to him this week.
Okay.
I have to push. Let me tell you, I'm pushing it too.
So I'll call up this.
Sorry, Seth. I had to let him do a little sack busting on Aaron there just before you got to the story.
Now that we talked about this, I have to talk about the cards.
Well, I got to be kept on track.
It was my duty, but to keep everything on track, you wanted Seth to tell the story about the sword store, but I want Uncle to really wind up and go into the cards and all that a little more. So there you go. I just made your life interesting for the next half hour, Aaron.
Yeah, I know you just did. I was about to get to that point there, Chuck. But about him, get on Steve. Because Steve said you get all he needs.
He can make the cards. He can make the graphic business
cards. He'll make the cards, but give him the information to put on the cards. Okay. Shoot it out to him. If you have to do it this weekend, shoot it out to him.
Just tell him, write Uncle the Podcast on there.
Right.
Done deal.
Stop what you're doing and just send it to him.
Okay.
And then
stop
he
the
would
presses.
get going. Then he would get going, and then we'll have that thing what Chuck was talking.
Yeah. Well,
Seth.
Seth, to make a long story longer.
Yeah.
Basically, we need to go to that sword shop and give him our business card. What's your experience with the sword shop, Seth?
Sword shop.
Sword shop.
Yeah. Have you been in there?
I haven't even seen the place. And he's saying, we're going to go there.
Now, Seth.
I know it's there, but I've never been in it. I know it's there.
So you've seen
the one over near Nordstrom.
Yeah. It's like just outside of that store, I think.
Next to that video game store. Next to the video game place.
Yeah. What is the name of? I can't remember the name of the actual sword shop now, but it's got swords. You know, it's a typical mall sword shop. It's also kind of like
right in the corner.
Oh yeah, it has to be.
Yeah.
Where are you gonna put a sword shop? You can't put it out in the middle of everything. Somebody will get hurt. Yeah.
And not real swords now.
Oh, they are real swords.
They are real swords.
Yeah.
Actually real swords?
Yes.
I was interested in the place, but I never walked in. Like, I looked at it from across the mall, but I never went in there.
I have to look at these swords now. Now that you said they're real swords, I'll bring my other sword with me.
Yeah.
All right now. Let's see who got better sword.
Uncle is a sword-carrying member of the Knights of Columbus.
Yeah,
so
I'm a Knight of Columbus.
You can go.
I got a sword for
So
I'm use this sword. Now let's see what we got in swords.
when you go to the sword store, you'll have to be brandishing your sword.
Yeah,
that will be that's a must. But yeah, they've got swords in there. They got tasers in there. They've got sort of like comic book.
Don't they have shields, like the shield at the Night Path? I think they have. I don't know if I really.
Like a riot shield, like riot gear stuff. Is that what you're talking about?
No, like a battle shield, like a armor, the.
Probably do.
I think so. I think so.
I'm pretty sure they probably do. But what happened there?
I cut myself, Uncle.
What happened? Wait a minute. They got a cutting problem.
Stigmata. It's
what happened here?
It's not on the inside of my palm. It's on the outside of my back of my hand, but it's almost the same. It's real.
What the heck happened?
Seth, it's a real phenomenon. It's happening.
I don't know what's happening with you now. Starting to get mad and starting killing himself. What's the knife?
Well,
I don't see a knife in him.
This clearly, I don't know what to think of this, but it's not legitimate stigmata, but it's good to have another Riverside man here who knows it's a sword shop and can at least corroborate that's a real place.
I don't know how that was so random that I don't know how I knew that sword shop was in the mall. Like when you said sword shop, I was just like, okay. And then the location came to me as we were talking about it. That's so weird. Like,
it's the kind of thing you don't forget.
We went to the.
So I must be interested in the sword shop.
Oh, and we could have swung down there, but it was too late to go. It was on a Friday the time we went to see the show, and if we would have had just a little more time just to go check the shortstop, I would have been even happier. But they're saying, hey, we got the card. We don't got the cards yet.
The plan is to go into that sword shop, kick the door in, and say, hey, we are your people. We know what you're all about here with the sword shop. We love what you're doing. And we also think we could add value to your establishment.
But we have to have the cards.
Well, yeah.
First.
Yeah.
And let's get on Steve.
No. Well, no. That's
Steve's
the problem.
He's got to call Steve up to get the name on him. And then he'll do them and then send them to us.
I'm going to do them.
That's all you have to do.
I got them. Consider them done.
Well, yeah, you said it this week. Last week, what happened?
They're going to be here.
Yeah.
We're going to go in there. We're going to say, hey, look, we have Uncle the Podcast. It's a live radio show.
Until Chuck mentioned something here about the cards. Now he's giving me afro with the cards.
We're going to lay that card down on the table like, look, it's proof that this show that we speak of is true.
All you have to do was, like I said, look at my face.
Look, the face is on the card.
Face on the card and what the information you need.
The card
right there. Boom.
The card proves it's a real show.
We can actually give one. I'll even give one when it's done to him.
Yeah.
So
and then
you can pick up the people. Hey, this guy's got what? Let's listen to this Uncle the Podcast. This guy's a character. And they'll get everybody into this.
Yeah, well,
and then we'll really get moving.
We're not only going to do that and get them listening, we're going to propose to do a live show from inside the sword shop.
Yeah, but I have
that's the idea.
Great.
I have to get my voice ready for it, though. That takes a little while to do, to get it organized and have everything straight in line till we get to everything straight before we go in there.
Well, red leather, yellow leather, Uncle.
What does that mean?
That's the vocal exercise. Do you do vocal exercises before you go and do your public speaking, Seth?
Exercises?
Yeah.
You do?
Uh-oh. Here's another one.
What are they?
And the most important thing that I do is I pray a lot, and I ask God to speak through me as I go and I speak. And most of the time, I don't even remember what I say because it's not me.
It comes out of Him.
Yeah.
He tells you.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. Yeah. I know exactly what you're saying. That's how it works. Got that sidekick?
Yeah,
like,
I
don't do like that. I don't do like that. Like me. Like I just, I repeat words over and over and over and over till I, hundreds of times until I just got it and I remember it.
Nice.
And then I go and see it. It's real weird sometimes. Like I can write a poem in a day, I can memorize it in a day, and I can recite it the next day. It's so sometimes it freaks me out,
Yeah.
It happens. I remember I've written a poem for a women's event. It was over 1,200 women. I wrote it me 24 hours, and I recited it the following day at the conference, and that was probably one of the most like memorable moments because not everybody can do something like that, and just share like had the courage to just go stand up in front of a bunch of women they never met before and share a poem to them, and they love it. So it was a joy. Yeah. So I thought I'd throw that out there,
So you wrote it the night before, 1,200 words, memorized it, and recited it verbatim the next day?
No, not 1,200.
Okay? Not the next
day. I thought you said.
1,200. No, 1,200 women. It was
women, not words. Women.
Did you see it?
Clearly, I don't know what's going on.
I have to say.
The poem.
See what you're
saying? The poem's about a page long.
Oh, okay. Well, it's hard to memorize that much, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
I can't even remember to finish a card. I mean, this is hard work.
What work to sit here and talk with these crazy machine? You're sitting here, and then you're talking about that.
I know.
Simple. I mean, it could be.
Seth, do you have any upcoming events you want to let people know about, or again, like maybe your Instagram?
I'm doing actually tomorrow night. I'm going to be at it's called the Riverside International House of Prayer, and I'll be sharing poetry there. It's called The Living Room, and that's on like RIHOP, the Facebook page, RIHOP, and that's RIHOP, Riverside International House of Prayer, and we'll be doing like an event there tomorrow from 6 to 9 p.m., where it's just going to be like a lot of prophetic poetry and singing and, just worship, dancing, all types of, things. And I'm actually doing a wedding, but that's something,
Oh, cool.
I got months to prepare for. So,
nice.
In the meantime, I just, I go to the homeless shelter. I go share at the convalescent home and share at work, wherever given the opportunity. I believe that, like, life is too short. Like, a lot of people think life is very long, but it could be very short. So we got to take advantage of every day and every moment we get. To speak life, not just life into others, but encourage others and let each other know that we have purposes to live while we're here. Even if it's like listening to someone, like that can change their life. Or speaking into someone's life, that can change and transform their mind and how they view themselves. So, that's what I do, and
nice.
That all thumbs up.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, and it's at Sef the Poet on Instagram, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
At Sef the Poet. SEFTHEPOET.
And is the hashtag don't follow me, follow him, is that right?
Don't follow me, follow him, and hashtag testimony threads. That's actually my clothing company that's coming out soon. And a lot of it has to do with like my story. Like, I don't know if you guys knew like my story, like parts of it. But like 4 years ago, it'd actually be June 10th this year, it'd be 4 years that I had suffered a massive heart attack, and I, temporarily died for about 5 minutes. And when I came back, like I just noticed poetry just pours out of me, and it's a gift that not too many people. I don't tell them they want to. You don't want to go through what I went through to have a gift I have, but it's a joy to be able to share whenever given opportunity. But
yeah, Seth, this is an amazing story. What I want you to tell the audience also the previous part of that story, the part where you decide to check yourself into the hospital, right? Tell that part. It's fascinating.
Yeah, I was actually it was a day at work, and I remember going home, and I headed home, and my body just felt weird. And I said, you know what, like, I'll be all right. It's happened before. I felt, like weird, like little heart palpitations, but it was nothing. Could have been anxiety, could have been tons of rock stars that I was drinking all night. But what happened is I remember going into my bedroom, and I was getting ready to go to sleep.
She's what?
Good thing I didn't go to sleep, because I would have died in my bed. I actually heard a voice tell me, right when I sat on my bed, I heard a voice say, "Go to the hospital." An audible voice. It's like I'm speaking to you right now. Said, "Go to the hospital." So I got dressed, drove myself to the hospital, walked into the ER, and I said I'm having chest pain because it just felt weird. Like my body felt weird, and that's all I remember for about 10, 12 hours. My heart stopped right there as I walked into the ER. And if I didn't listen to that voice to tell me to go to the hospital, I wouldn't be on a podcast with you right now. I wouldn't be here at all. Mm-hmm. And since that's happened, like I've actually written over 250 poems in the last 2.5 years. And I've just been sharing just prophetic poetry and sharing my story with others. That's what Birth Testimony Threads, my clothing company. Everyone has a story. And it starts with testimony. And that's just a brief run through of it. But yeah, I heard a voice, audible voice, say go to the hospital. Drove to the hospital. My heart stopped, passed away. I came back, and now I'm here on Uncle Podcast, the most amazing podcast in the world.
Uncle.
Thank you.
I mean, that is. What do you think of that?
That is a story.
That is.
Well, that's another story that really is very, very interesting to yourself and you.
That's anybody would be interested in that.
What he went through.
That's fast. It's amazing. It's an amazing story.
I had one.
A similar
story.
Okay.
But it was where I had a spirit come out of me. Actually, my spirit came out of me, Seth. It actually.
Oh yeah, an out-of-body experience.
Body experience
of some kind.
Of some thing, and it went out completely out.
You're
people. I don't know what happened here on Earth, but if they were shaking me or whatever they were doing, I wasn't in it. This spirit stuff, I wasn't in it. The spirit was up here, up to my father up there. He's trying to explain talk to me about things until he mentioned what he wanted to tell me and then came back down. That's experience.
So you received a message.
Yeah.
Okay.
That happened.
People have...
I know that's because I know what he went through. I know that what he went through is about what I've did.
Something similar.
Something, yeah. Something like that.
It's crazy.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
These stories that you hear, and it's like, whoa, that really happened. And then you hear stuff say, yes, it did, and it's like, oh my gosh, and it's just. And these, I feel like these and similar things to different extents. I feel like, to a different extent, I feel everybody out there has some story similar to this. I feel that, Seth, your story is an extreme one. I don't think, like, with the audible voice and then you going to the ER and dropping down, like, when you get there, having that heart attack right as you get there. I mean, that is extreme. But I feel like everybody has something that happens that is like, no, wait a minute. How do I account for this?
Let me ask you something, Sidekick, since we're having this experience problem.
Yeah.
Ask Zeb your experience, what you have, if you had any.
Wait, you're talking to me?
Yeah, Sidekick.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've done certain things before in my life where it's just like, what in the world? And things, for me, it's just been like... I'll remember certain things later, and not. I had things happen when I was like a kid and stuff, where I basically, without knowing what in the world I was doing, I put myself into this weird state of. It's actually like this meditative thing where you could say I left my body, but I experienced the experience of what I would call the absolute, which is both completely void of everything and completely full of everything simultaneously. And it was in my hope of gaining like answer to the question. Like, I was just thinking like, well, I was thinking about the idea of like, well, okay, you die. Okay, I get that. But if you die, it must mean that there's nothing anymore. And I was thinking in the context of consciousness. And as a kid, I was thinking this as a kid, mind you, like, so I wasn't intellectualizing it too much. I was just like, okay, so what does it mean for everything just to be done and for there to be nothing? Because that must be what it is, right? So there's nothing anymore. So I tried to figure out, okay, what does nothing mean? I was really laying there trying to think of what nothing was, and then it kind of came to me, I'd say. And to me, it was something very interesting, and I years later I came to learn that this is something that is kind of like people do purposely, that like they meditate on that idea and they get to that same place, and people have described the exact same thing. And so it's like, oh yeah, that's exactly what happened to me. And like, okay, this, it's something that you cannot describe. There's no describing it. And so I don't know. I guess that's the big one for me personally. But there's other weird stuff too that happens.
Very interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I think I gotta say, Seth, I think everybody has an out there experience story. I think everybody has them.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. I believe they do.
Yeah.
Adrian's trying to call in, I think.
Is he really? Oh man, yeah.
He just checked out the Spotify.
Oh really?
And yeah.
All right. Bring him in, Chuck.
So now
bring him in here. Get him on the line right now.
Bring him in,
I'm
Chuck.
trying to pull him in right now. I told you, I gave him the number. He's calling. He should be calling in. I said call in. So
nice. Well, Seth, thank you for calling tonight.
calling in there, Steph.
And I'll say that I hope that you call again sometime.
Yeah.
When you say that,
same time, same place.
Yeah, and I'll see you soon.
Friday, if you want to call on his broadcast, his is the hour earlier than mine. Mm-hmm. So it's if you ever want to.
It's a 2-hour thing.
I'll probably see you guys at the sword shop.
Yeah, we'll see you in the sword shop.
We'll be in the sword shop.
We'll be there.
Yeah, I'll be there whenever. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm still bouncing on those cards, of course.
All right, Seth. Thanks for being here tonight. Seth.
I appreciate it.
All right. Have a blessed night.
You too.
Absolutely.
Bye.
You too, sir.
You too.
All right, Uncle.
I like a guy like him.
Yeah, well,
I like a guy like
you. Him. I knew that if Seth came on, it would be a good experience, and that you would very much appreciate everything that he has to bring to the table.
He did bring a lot to the table.
He brought a whole lot.
Something. Even teach you something.
It was like the Last Supper.
Yeah.
That's what our table is like.
Yeah.
That's how serious things got.
With that talk, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, who we got on there, Chuck? Wait, no.
If I have somebody else, trust me, I will jump right in and bring them to you. Anybody that does call in, you will hear from them first.
Yeah.
Well, I thought we was good.
So yeah, and there during the conversation, Uncle, you heard Seth mention Adrian. Adrian is another one of my coworkers.
Yeah, I know. That's what I hear. I was gonna wonder if he got in touch with him to call in.
Well, I don't know. Maybe time will tell. If he's even listening, Adrian. If you're listening,
I'm sure he is.
Oh, he has to be.
If he said he's gonna call in.
I said if he's listening. Now I just gotta say, well, I know you're listening, Adrian. So when I see you later, we can talk about stuff that happened on the show, and I'll just say thank you now for listening. It's great to have you out there in the listening audience.
Yeah,
there you go.
This is what I like. We are talking to people.
Yeah, Uncle, we're networking.
Yeah. Tonight we're networking.
We're growing our social network.
Yeah. I'm still waiting on who, my buddy to call.
Oh yeah,
I don't know when he'll ever call.
Sure. Well, calling is a momentous event, Uncle. That's why anybody who goes through with calling in is like, it's a feat, and it's like, oh wow. And the thing is when I gave Seth the number a while back, and I knew eventually, sooner or later, that he would call in, just because he's him. I'm like, oh yeah, he'll call in. It's gonna be awesome, and so it did. But not everybody does it, Uncle. Not everybody will do that, and I don't fault anybody for not doing that either. I don't.
Yeah. Well,
but isn't it cool when we do talk to people?
It is. I mean, I'll tell you one thing. It keeps me quiet at talking because it saves my voice for maybe the sword thing whenever we get that going.
It takes your breath away.
Right, to listen to the customer talking on the other end. So that's what I was doing with Sep, just listening to his. And it was as he was going, and a religion person on top of it.
I know.
I could sit there all night listening to someone like that.
Break it down. Lay it down. Bring the poetry. We love it. Bring more.
Absolutely. And I think we have a repeat caller coming on the line now, so I'm sure you want me to join him in, right, Uncle?
Go ahead. Put him in.
All right. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oop, hang on a second.
Okay.
I clicked it. It didn't move.
What happened? Caller, are you there?
Wait a minute. I hear his background.
Yes? Greetings. Sorry, I was messing with the volume on my computer there. So
Not a problem.
Can you hear me? You can't hear me. Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
We hear you. Houston, all is good. Everything's to go. Are you calling from Houston?
Where are you calling from?
No, this is Robin calling in again from Victoria, BC.
Robin, yeah, all right. Crocodile Gandhi, right?
Oh, Crocodile D-boy.
That's right.
Okay.
What about that big knife?
At some point, Aaron, you'll have to clarify for Uncle that it's not Dundee, it's Gandhi.
Dundee?
Yeah,
well, that's a long name. So I've been watching Dundee.
Robin, I think you might have to change your Twitter handle. I think is what is going to have to happen here.
Yeah, because we're used to that.
True. That's true. It might be. A bet. I might get more followers if I was Dundee.
Well, either that, or you got to make a movie, Robin. One or the other.
Yeah, that's Robin very true. That's another option.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
So what's on up?
Yeah, I've been listening. I've been listening to both shows today. Definitely some interesting conversation earlier about the Uyghurs in China and that whole situation. And then today's show, that was Seth. Seth is one of your coworkers, I take it.
Correct. Yeah. He works with me. He's great coworker. Yeah.
Does he do any spoken word at work or?
He does. He will break out into spoken word in the break room, and it's always a good time. Yeah.
Listen to him.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That would help the lunch break fly on by.
Oh yeah, it does. Absolutely.
Well, yeah, I don't have anything specific I wanted to talk about calling in today, but just I know there's only a few minutes left as well, but.
Well, I'll say to you, thank you for all the you send links to interesting articles and whatnot on Twitter, so I've been checking those out, and so thanks for sending all those my way.
Yeah, you're welcome. No, I've been doing that more lately. I was off Twitter for a couple of years, just kind of shuffling around to different social medias, but now I've been back for the last 6 months or something like that. So
yeah.
And, but I also we won't talk about it today because there's not really much time, but I definitely want to call in and talk about your book at some point in the next little while.
Oh, yeah, please do.
Definitely super interesting. It tied together a lot of different subjects that I was interested in, but didn't see the connections necessarily, and so it was quite enlightening. Ha ha ha.
Nice. Right.
But yeah, I'd like to get into that at some future date with you.
Absolutely.
Is there any plans for any future books?
I have some notes for other.
One, I know.
Yeah, no, I have notes for books that I would like to write. I don't know. Now, at this moment in time, it's not the book writing time, but the book writing time, I do feel that it's going to return, and I will write again. I think I'm going to have to. It's just one of those things like with the book Revolve, it's like, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is, I got this book. I want to do it. It's the thing to do. And I'm going to get that feeling again. It's not now, but I definitely want to write something else again. And up until that point, Transistor Radio and Uncle the Broadcast will be here, and we'll be able to, just share ideas up until the point where, you know, a more coherent and very refined presentation of an idea of a book comes along.
For sure. Well, and with that subject too, you kind of have to let 10 or 20 years go by almost to get into the next, chapter of what all those technologies are producing in the world, I suppose.
Yeah, we are in the age of transitions now, and it
is showing real quick coming too.
Is it ever? Uncle, tell us what the age of transitions is doing right now.
It's changing and turning our minds not into minds.
Exactly.
Just staring at for example, a telephone. Just looking at it. Here we are. Just looking at this phone. Oh, there's a game to play.
Obey, right?
Ding, 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 ding. I got these other things.
Uncle, have you ever seen the movie They Live?
They Live.
Oh, the one with Roddy Piper where he's the star. He wears the sunglasses. Have you seen that one, Uncle? Oh gosh, we gotta watch that.
I gotta see it.
That's
then.
one of my
Is it on it?
movies, yeah.
What
I love
is it on? Is it on Reflex?
I think I have it on DVD somewhere.
Oh, DVD. Look into that. I want to try to look.
You would love that one.
I would watch it.
Aaron, doesn't that movie have the famous line, "I have come here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum"? Yes.
That's the one.
Okay.
I gotta see it. Dude.
It's like the one and only movie that Roddy Piper stars in.
I loved that movie, by the way. When I was a kid, I loved that movie.
I think he was in another one, but I can't recall.
Oh, okay. Okay.
What it is now.
Talking about wrestlers for a minute, we did have another guy that has a wrestling show.
We had him on the show?
No, we didn't have him yet. I've been trying to get him on my show.
Oh, yeah. We're always trying to get the wrestlers
and
in
here. This guy, I listened to him, I think it was still in Mom, Florida. I was listening to him then.
Okay.
And until this day. But now, I lost track of him. Because, but I have been listening to him since then.
We'll get a wrestler on here. Somebody. We will.
Maybe you can get Diamond Dallas Page.
Yeah, he's all into new agey meditation and yoga, is he not?
Yeah, he's got a DDP yoga program that's all for geared towards the macho dude in a sense.
Interesting.
He does.
It's quite funny, but it does seem to be doing some people good. So more power to him.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'm not going to speak ill of yoga, even though it's a fun thing to make fun of sometimes.
Yoga is your exercise.
There's actually a documentary that is actually quite good. I can't remember the name of it, but it's Diamond Dallas Page. And what was that wrestler with the toothpick?
Mr. Perfect?
Mr. Perfect?
Possibly, yeah. He had long hair and kind of the 5 o'clock shadow all the time.
Oh, wait. Razor Ramon?
Razor Ramon. That's right. Yeah, Razor Ramon.
Yeah, he had another name at one point, too.
That are super down on their luck, like alcoholics, just super out of shape.
Yeah.
And they both go live with Diamond Dallas Page for a year. And they turn their lives around, and now they're doing well. It's actually quite a good documentary. If you're interested in wrestlers, and especially ones from the 90s, it was a pretty good uplifting story in a sense.
That sounds cool. Yeah, hold that diamond above your head. Fashion the coal.
Just a real quick note. Roddy Piper has quite an extensive listing on IMDb. And actually did a lot of TV shows and a few other movies outside of all of his television appearances and video releases with wrestling and that kind of stuff. He acted as a cowboy in one spot here. He was on Superboy, the TV show, I think. They Live there. There's a bunch of things on the IMDb, just so you know.
Okay, so he is an accomplished actor. My mistake.
Yeah. Some of them turn to acting,
He is.
Some of them turn to acting. You get tired of doing their wrestling jobs, and let's go into acting, and boom, and here we are.
He and John
don't get beat up as much, I guess.
Yeah, it's much easier. But yeah, Robin, I think we're going to say goodbye because the reason being the show is almost over.
It is?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But we'll talk to you.
Thanks for taking my call again today.
Yeah, well,
and I'll call again sometime soon, and I'll send you crap on Twitter.
Nice. I like all that.
If you want,
all right,
call
take care, Uncle.
next week if you want.
Yep. Bye, Robin.
Bye, Robin.
Cheerio.
Yeah, go.
There he goes, back up to the western coast of.
So I beat you again tonight.
You beat me.
1-2, 1-2. Win, cut again.
You did.
Uncle wins it again.
Number of callers.
But the dumb guy.
You bested me.
One last little thing for clarification: 161 credits for Rowdy Roddy Piper, and going all the way up to 2012. Of course, he died in 2015. But
he did.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
He did.
Yeah. His last role was in something called The Chair.
What was it?
I've not seen that one.
The Chair, it's called. Yeah, he played Father Mafuzo, I think it's. Let me see what the credit says here.
Interesting. I've seen him on TV shows.
No, he played Murphy. He played Murphy in something called The Chair, which is, let's see here. It's looks like movies, TV series. Let me see.
Yeah.
Well, I like Rowdy Roddy Piper, and apparently on the set of They Live, he and John Carpenter really hit it off, so that they were definitely buddies for that.
Oh no! I remember who I'm thinking of. Cold Toad Steve Austin.
Yes.
He was the one I listened to.
Well, he'll be on the show soon.
That's the one that has a podcast.
He sure does.
Yes. I should hit myself.
Chuck, do we have a minute left? Am I correct?
Well, no, you've got a couple of minutes here, and I was going to suggest, because Uncle gets frustrated, he can't do his shout-outs and his stuff at the very end, that he takes these couple minutes and does it, because we started late, because I couldn't hear you, Aaron, for some reason.
Oh, really? Yes. That was
those earplugs.
We had a technical difficulty at the beginning of the first hour.
You did?
Yeah, but
in your hour.
It was just a little button I had to press on the old
Let's leave these things when you put them on. Put them on before you talk, so we won't have this mess up.
I know.
But this is your extra time, though, Uncle, so you can get those shout-outs out. Go ahead.
Oh,
shout out
to the fella that should have called but didn't call.
Yeah,
I know I forgot his name.
Shout out to you.
Shout out to you and everybody else that you know who you are.
Yep,
that's as simple as I do.
I
mean, because I don't want to shoot out to everybody,
No, sir.
And that till more of that time.
Those are stellar shout-outs, Uncle.
All the shout-outs that I shout them out to.
I have a shout-out.
Oh, who is a shout-out?
You know our game on Instagram. Name that tune.
Correct.
Of course, our Instagram is at Uncle Podcast.
Uncle Podcast. Who won?
Well, we had a winner. I think I actually just posted a new one today. I don't think I got a winner on that yet. But for the previous song, we had Rosie Pear, who is our friend Melissa, who we've mentioned before in shout-outs. Melissa from St. Petersburg, Florida.
Oh, yeah.
I think I forgot to mention that she won the game. So today I was like, I think I owe you a shout-out from before. She's like, oh, really? I didn't know that. I'm like, yeah, so I'm going to give it to you, the shout-out. I'm going to mention the shout-out tonight. And I don't even know if these things get lost, but it's worth the shout-out again. Melissa, Rosie Pear.
That's right. You mentioned
St. Petersburg.
She did have a shout-out. Had a chance to shout out to him, so you should shout it out to him.
The song that she named was it was Sting, Fields of Gold. I played that on the guitar. So play along.
Play along the show, and you get to listen, and we'll have you guys have a shout out to you.
There's a new one I just posted today, this morning. So name that tune. Somebody's got to know it. It's a pretty well-known song. So name it, and we'll be shouting you out next week on Uncle the Broadcast.
Right, and a quick shout out to Green Seed, who sent me an email instantly volunteering some music to the network, and that's your listener who was in the chat room during the entire show. And they sent me their MySpace stuff and said, go ahead and use it on the network any way you want. So you'll be hearing Green Seed on Ocelli.com shortly.
Shortly on Oh, the music.
Yeah, some new
during the
music
breaks
playing.
and stuff.
About
Yeah.
time we can listen to music. We can listen to more music.
Just during the breaks and stuff, Uncle. You know, we need something to fill in.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
So
I
there you go.
like to listen some more.
I'll take this time to shout you out, Chuck, in that I really love what you do with the breaks in between the shows.
Yeah, me too.
Commercial-free breaks and the music that's played. So many times, like there'll be this song that, like, for me, it comes out of nowhere. It's like, oh, who's this? And then, you know, it's just some original artist that got a hold of you, and now the music's on there. And, you know, I've lent some music to it and some friends that I know, and it's just really cool. I always enjoy listening to those. So good job on that.
Thank you, man. No, I appreciate it. And of course, 10 Gauge is one of my favorites that you brought to the table. They're awesome. They're the ones who do that song you hear every now and then called Hell Night, and another one called Big Guy. Quite often you hear that in Aaron's break, and that's by the band 10 Gauge, right, Aaron?
10 Gauge, yeah.
Chuck, how you feeling now these days? I mean,
well, no time for that because you got to close out your show.
Yeah, we got to end, Uncle.
Oh, we ending the show?
Yeah, Uncle the podcast.
You're the one yapping, and I didn't even talk to you.
Well,
I didn't do much yapping tonight.
I know.
Just listening to the customers.
Well, we had Sef the Poet here after all.
I know we had some guests.
We had some excellent people coming to the show here. So yeah, we're Uncle the Podcast, UncleThePodcast.com. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter. Right up in iTunes review.
iTunes and
Patreon.
And the Patreon. We have a Patreon that you can get on if you want to call in for the Patreon.
Indeed.
Also.
Yeah. That's about
That's it.
We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye. Where's the boom boom?